This is a mom from Loudoun County. That's the county in which we had the rape of the young girl in the school. There was an update on that today, by the way, that the mother of the perpetrator spoke to the Daily Mail. But listen to this Loudoun County mom. You tell her that there's nothing approaching critical race theory being taught in Virginia schools. Listen.
My children are now in private school and are thriving. We had specifically moved chased out of LCPS due to the swift and uncompromising political agenda of Superintendents Williams, Ziegler, and the school board that have forced upon us. First, it was in early spring of 2020 when my 6-year-old somberly came to me and asked me if she was born evil because she was a white person, something she learned in a history lesson at school. Then you kept the schools closed for a year and a half despite the science indicating that it was safe for kids to return. And now you've covered up a rape, then arrested, humiliated, and falsely accused her parents of being domestic terrorists. I wish I could return my kids to LCPS. Private school is expensive, and I want my kids to be able to walk home from school with their friends in their own community. I refuse to allow you to destroy our schools. They are not your schools, they are our schools. You all should be ashamed, and you should have the moral courage to admit you are wrong and step down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's an interesting thing, Megyn. I actually wrote about this last year. This movement away from how, Democrats and how critical race theory has been presented began very granularly when parents were all of a sudden at home with their children in 2020, and they're hearing and seeing in a more intimate and in-your-face way of how their children were being taught and what they were being taught. And then that sort of snowballed into all of a sudden realizing, oh my goodness, look how much power a school board has over my children in terms of what they learn. And then another layer was added is look how much power a teachers union has. And so the building blocks of this movement began, I would argue, in the spring of 2020 and has just continued to snowball as parents have understood the influence that has been sort of taught to their children in a way that they didn't understand when they sent their kids off to school.
Yeah. And this is a massive dodge and massive gaslighting by the Democrats and the media who are trying to tell us that critical race theory is not taught in K through 12. You can call it whatever the hell you want. I don't care. Great. Let's find a new name. But let's deal with what's real. What's real is that woman, 6-year-old, was taught that she's evil because she's white. That in my kids' school, the teachers were told that in every classroom where white children learn, there is a future killer cop. And then you've got reporting by Azra Nomani, who's part of Parents Defending Education, a great group, who's just come out with a piece saying in Fairfax County Public Schools, that's Virginia, but this could be any county, America. She's been provided with documents showing that one of their staffers, Rob Kerr, has been teaching a weekly 2-hour course to the teachers. Why do they want the teachers to have this education? So they can impart it to the children. They can go into the school armed with this information at Marshall High School in Virginia, called How to Be an Anti-Racist Educator. Oh, it has such a nice title. Sure, great. We all know at this point, anti-racist means racist. And these are just some of the items, okay? Exploring and understanding whiteness. They are told to listen to this podcast by Bettina Love. We've heard her name before, thanks to Chris Rufo, who's done great reporting on Bettina Love, who is a critical race theorist. And it borrows key concepts from CRT, which holds that, here's just a few items. All white people are intrinsic oppressors of minorities, and especially Black people. Education officials and politicians are denying all of this, right? But this particular woman, Bettina Love, has got a long history of problematic teachings that go on and on about how dangerous white people are, how white people are to blame for the oppression of Black people. And I could go on and on with a long list of all the stuff that she has said, but it's divisive and it's problematic. And it's what's got parents so outraged, Salena, and it's what could actually change this gubernatorial race today.
Absolutely. And I think what is interesting is that, if you talk or listen to Black voters and Hispanic voters in Virginia, they are as infuriated about this teaching, this critical race teaching or what theory teaching or whatever. Again, it's probably going to get different names to try to sort of dilute that name. But they are as equally frustrated as white parents are. They don't want people divided. These are people that live in their neighborhood. These are their kids play with each other's kids. Why would you create a tension that doesn't, need to exist? And I think the other thing that is interesting, because I travel so much across the country, I have never seen so many signs for new people running for school board in small towns and medium towns and suburban areas all over the Great Lakes Midwest and down through Appalachia and in through Virginia as I have this time. I think we're going to see a lot of turnover in school boards because parents are getting more involved as they start to understand that they have the power to run and be a part of the solution and not be part of the problem.